Big bouncing titties, jumping high into the air. Gluten-free titties, bringing joy without a care. Morning sun through window panes, titties sleeping in the beams, chasing shadows on the walls, living out their wildest dreams. Big bouncing titties everywhere. Fill the room with playful flair. Bouncy friends with boundless glee. They're the stars of our show spree. Bouncy titties, bouncy titties, yeah. Bouncy titties, bouncy titties, yeah. Couches turn to jungle gyms, tails are twitching on a whim. Crazy antics all day long, in their world they can't go wrong. Secret naps and midnight zooms, in the light of the full moon. Life is just a fun-filled dance, every leap and every prance. Big bouncing titties everywhere. Fill the room with playful flair. Bouncy friends with boundless glee. They're the stars of our show spree. Bouncy titties, yeah. Bouncy titties, yeah. Big bouncing titties everywhere. Fill the room with playful flair. Bouncy friends with boundless glee. They're the stars of our show spree. Bouncy tits, bouncy titties, yeah. Bouncy tits, bouncy titties, yeah. Bouncy tits, bouncy titties, yeah.
There is more.
Bouncy titties, yeah. Big bouncing titties everywhere. Fill the room with playful flair. Bouncy friends with boundless glee. They're the stars of our show spree. Bouncy titties, yeah. Bouncy titties, yeah.
There can't possibly be more though, right? I mean, that's it. Come on now. That's it for sure. Okay. Cool. I like that song. It's so fucking stupid that I cannot not like it. Let me just do this though. Oops. Did that help? Is that better now? Anyway, right. So you know what this is. This is like that sort of thing, okay? You know, we do it every Saturday. I gotta burn the backlog. 3 more left. That's it. We're almost through. 3 more left. You can see them right there on the left of the bar. Anyway, but before I start, I wanna like whine a little bit. Like, holy shit. I've been feeling down, dude. My fucking sound system is starting to give up. I've had it for like, I don't know, 20 years now, and it's been like, you know, trustworthy and functional and everything. And just yesterday, it just decided to do, it didn't decide to do anything. That wouldn't be possible, but yeah. The subwoofer is dying, like the internal electronics are dying there. They're too far gone, dude. Like 20 years, come on, of intense use. Because you know, I'm an enthusiast when it comes to loud music and, you know, gaming and all that shit. And so yeah. As it is right now, it can no longer split left and right rear channels. And yeah, it's not gonna be long until it's dead, basically. Fortunately, a new system wouldn't be too expensive. So it would be, I mean, depending how you look at it, right? It's about $300. So that's gonna take me about like 6-7 months to stack up because I have to pay bills and all that. So yeah, I'm looking to I'm hoping actually that it's gonna last me even without like without one of the channels already. I hope it's gonna last me like until then. And then, I will I will fucking I'll send it away, I'm gonna replace it. What can I do? I might keep some of the speakers as backup, some of the cabling, some of all that stuff. I might just keep it for backup as well, just in case something happens again in the future. But the subwoofer is gone, baby. That's it. It's giving up. And I mean, honestly, it's seen some really heavy use. It's seen more than like it's been literally fucking 20 years or something, and it's been working like a fucking charm. Except now it's giving up. Anyway, so that's horrible timing. I also tested my new DisplayPort cable, which whatever, that's fine, that works. Um, I hope I won't see any screen flickering today. I haven't seen any so far, so I'm very hopeful. I'm very positive about it. It's probably, done. It's fixed, probably. Nothing to worry about anymore. And hey, if I see nothing, then I'm gonna switch back to 144 hertz and see if that's stable. Maybe it won't be. We'll see. But yeah, that's what I wanted to vent about, basically, or share, I guess. You know, accepting. Oh God, it's so like, yeah. Sorry, I was just looking outside. I was trying to find words to describe the day. Like it's so. What is this? I don't think it can tell, and I don't think I can tell. It's like it's gray, but also not gray, but also open skies, but also clouds, but also like I don't fucking know. It's windy as well. It's like it's whatever. But it's the kind of weather that kind of makes me feel sleepy, but not in a good way. Just like just tired, but without being tired. If that makes sense. But not sleepy exactly. I don't want to sleep. It's just that I feel uh something. I don't fucking know. I can't describe this feeling. It's weird. It's not a good feeling though. It's like more negative than positive, and it's kind of meh. You know, could have something to do with the fact that I slept like shit. It was horrible. Honestly, fucking horrible. There are so I twitch in my sleep, right? Not the streaming kind, the kind where you kind of like you kind of like have spasms or something. You can't sleep because your own spasms are literally waking you up, right? Your own sleep twitches are waking you up. So I don't know what the fuck happened yesterday. I don't think I've ever experienced this before, but it flared up so hard. I was I was feeling alert. I was feeling alert and stressed, and whenever I tried to kind of close my eyes and force myself to sleep, I was literally just twitching so much and throw myself awake, literally. And I couldn't point to what it was that caused this, honestly. But what I do know is that I woke up feeling weird, like tired and weird a little bit. I don't know. Still awake though. And I went straight into troubleshooting my sound system, which took like a long time because um, I had to swap speakers around. I had to swap cables around. I had to um, test with software to test with like this and that and blah blah. It was, it was a journey. Configuring it correctly was a journey. I can still pop in my fucking optical cable and get an emulation of 5.1, which that will make the speaker work, maybe, but not really. It would still have to be. It's debatable. I think with an optical cable, it would be like you're emulating. Like I don't know. It might still use the same fucking routing. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Honestly, I was so tired. I was just checking stuff all morning, and I hate it. But yeah, I switched back to analog, which took me a while to fucking get used to again, like how to set it up and find the correct settings, the correct like volume settings and everything else. And it was like, why am I doing this to myself? And then I decided it's time to also check my microphone and Waka Waka microphone. But like, yeah, I fucked around with that and I've probably fucked something up somewhere, and that's why you can hear me and it's like louder this time and it peaks more often and all that shit. I don't fucking know what's going on. But yeah, I was fucking around with that all morning as well. And I don't like, frankly, I don't remember what I've done. Like, I've been testing my screen. I've been troubleshooting my screen. Sorry, I've been troubleshooting the woofer of my Z906. I've been troubleshooting my microphone, and I had to vacuum clean, which I did. And I've barely had any coffee, and I slept like shit. What do you want from me, okay? What do you want me to say? I told you I wanted to fucking whine a little bit. That's all. I just wanted to whine. It's over. I done it. Okay. The day fucking sucks. Okay, I'm good. All right, fine. I'll stop. Whatever. Jesus Christ. Girl can't fucking complain around here. What the fuck? Oh, and my fucking room is a mess. There's cables everywhere. There's cables everywhere. At least, okay, not all my room. It's like basically my desk is fucking dystopian looking. It's just cables everywhere. My old fucking DisplayPort cable is just hanging there like a dead animal or something. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's this like my optical cable. There's some other 3 point something analog stuff. There is. Uh, I'm gonna take care of it later. I don't. I learned a lot though. Like doing this, I actually learned a lot. I liked it. I also hated it. I did learn stuff. Okay. And for example, right? For a fucking hour, I was installing and uninstalling and installing again because Windows didn't give me the option for 5.1. And I was like, what's going on? Right? Even after I switched back to analog and set up the woofer properly and all that shit, it still wouldn't give me the option to set it up. And I was like, okay, what's going on? What the fuck is going on here? And so I started looking into it, and it turns out I had to go into my Sound Blaster command application. What a name, right? I had to go there, and I had to I had to toggle something that is literally so counter to what it's supposed to do. It's like turn this. So it was the equivalent of press this button to turn red into green and turn green into basically meaning red. It was like the wording was so shit. I would show you, but right now I'm fucking afraid to touch anything. I'm not gonna lie. I'm right now. I'm kind of like a hypochondriac with settings right now. You ever had that? Where you fiddle around with too much shit and then you finally get it, and for a bit you don't want to mess with that shit. You just want to be like, okay, it's working. Leave it as it is right now. Just leave it and like look at it later. So that's what I'm going through now. So I don't want to go in there and press something like I just no. I've been flipping switches all day. So, but yeah, but there's a setting like that, and the moment you fucking click that, it's literally something like, do you want 5.1, like true? When I say true, I mean like, the closest you can get to pure, unfiltered, and compressed, and this and that, and everything. 5.1, like 6 channel, right? Then press this button. And that button's name is like not 5.1. And it was driving me fucking insane. And then there was another setting that was like, do you want to use direct sound? And then it says direct sound is like no fucking effects, no processing, no nothing. And then it turns out that this fucking option itself is a processing thingy. It itself adds a layer. And I'm like, then why are you adding a layer to guarantee that there will be no other, like, you know what, I don't care, I don't fucking care. And anyway, I pressed that, and then immediately it fucking showed up, and I could test my speakers in 5.1 and not stereo for the first time in my fucking life in Windows. Ah, listen, 5.1, true 5.1, like, you got a system, right? You got, as I said, like my Z906, something like that, right? True point 5.1 like this, analog as well, because, like, let's not kid ourselves, optical just isn't as good. Look it up yourself. Fuck optical. I've tried it for years. Now I'm back to analog, and honestly, everything just sounds like crisper to me. Anyway, beyond that, it's like HDR. You tell yourself, all right, I don't need that. That's a gimmick, and maybe you see it, maybe once, twice, passingly, and it's not convincing. You're like, eh, whatever. It looks like somebody turned up the contrast or something, right? And then you just, like, you know, you forget about it. That's been the case with me. And then you suddenly find yourself using an HDR monitor, and you can't go back anymore. That's it. You're fucked. You basically can't fucking go back. That's how fucking good it is and how different it seems. Um, and it's the same with 5.1. Like, once your ear tunes in and you pick up the magic, you can't fucking go back. And it's the same with analog. Like, I decided I can't do optical anymore. Like, I don't care. I don't want to do it. Like, analog sounds so much better. And once you pick it up, it's like, yeah, it has to be. And the same with 5.1, as I said then multiple times already. It's just, I can't live without it. And that's why I'm so fucking sad that, like, my woofer is, the whole system is basically too old at this point and kind of giving up. Uh, that's fine. That's fine. I'll stack up some money and get one. Um, Repairs is out of the question because I'm not gonna bother sending the woofer back to Logitech. It's out of warranty. I'd have to pay for repairs. I'd have to pay for, I'm nah, bro. And also, I mean, yeah, I'm just not gonna bother. I'll just buy a new one at this point. Especially because, if my predictions and, ChatGPT's predictions are correct, and considering the life expectancy of some electronics and the age of the particular fucking unit, it's very likely it's gonna start, like, giving up gradually. How gradually and at what pace, who the fuck knows? But if this happened now, yeah, it's a good indicator that, whatever process, handles these things has kicked into some part. So yeah, interesting, very interesting. I considered, maybe buying a cheaper solution like those beam speakers, but I don't know, dude. I'm not that convinced. I am just not that convinced that those are any good. I don't know. Like, those to me are not like HDR in 5.1. Those to me they do look like a fucking gimmick or something. Like, I just can't tell. Like, I can't tell the fucking difference. I can't tell the difference. I don't see any merit in. Maybe because of, aesthetics, of course. I mean, aesthetics is always a factor, right? And beam, speakers are very pleasing to the eye. Certainly more pleasing than, the good old fucking satellite speakers I got. But it's whatever. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Thanks for listening. What a Saturday, my guys. What a fucking Saturday already. Half the day gone with fucking cable checking and whatever. It'll get better. It'll get better throughout the day for sure. I just had to get it. Oh, and I had to also redecorate because Well, because the HDMI I got isn't even longer than 1 meter, and it kind of was restrictive as to where and how I can place my PC on my desk. And so I had to kind of move things around and rearrange bullshit on my desk. It's I can't decide if it looks better or worse. I hope I will not decide it looks worse. It's different. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. If anything, it has the advantage of like looking more impressive as you enter the room, but then it's less impressive as you're sitting on the desk. Before it was more impressive the way I would sit on my desk. I would see the PC, and I mean the power button is also more accessible now. I guess that's something. Uh, yeah, don't know the rest. I'm just gonna have to see, I guess. Anyways, so we're here to discuss this, which is you know what I do every Saturday, at least until my backlog is cleared, right? Which is these like 3 videos here. One of them unrelated to martial arts. Um, but yeah, I can't move on to new stuff unless I kind of burn through. Sorry, those. So that's what I'm doing every Saturday, clearing the backlog. Now, part of the backlog is this, and this I hope is going to be interesting, both because uh, Tai Chi is a very controversial like martial art, let's say. Some people will be like, oh, just like this video, it's terrifying, and other people are gonna be, it's not a real art. Like, you're gonna get creamed if you try to use it. And you know my opinions, and I'm gonna just cross-reference my opinions with this shit and see what happens. God, I really slept like shit. All right. Okay. First, a small sound check. First, I'm gonna determine if you can hear this shit through my microphone with my new settings.
Then there comes into this neck. Whoa!
Okay, so this device here is telling me that you are not able to hear it through my microphone. I'll believe it. I'll fucking trust it. I'll trust that you can, you know, you cannot hear it, but you can hear me clearly. I will trust that. Okay. Let's hope that's the case. And now to determine. Okay, that needs to be lower. It needs to be around here.
Then there comes into this neck.
Whoa! Whoa, bro! Just kidding. One sec, one sec. Maybe here.
Then there comes into this neck.
Okay, well, maybe a bit more, right? I don't fucking know. Maybe that's where. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. You should be able to hear it. And then do that and this, and then a bit of that, maybe. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna. That's a very interesting like moment to pause. All right. Okay. Let's fucking go.
Then there comes into this neck. And now let me show you.
So
Then there comes.
yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're showing it, you're gonna you're gonna be a bit clumsy with the arm work here. But I mean, the idea is to basically trap his own arm with his other own arm and yours, while also like locking here so that they can't push. And it's also the solar plexus, so you can also push there. That's a bit uncomfortable, um, especially with no controlling strikes. That can be a very bad target.
Then there comes it into this neck.
Yeah. Okay.
And now
Let's
let me
see.
show
Let's
you
see.
what it
Let's
looks
see.
like in the form.
Okay.
Exact same moves I just did.
That's Dr. Mark Cheng, a world famous Tai Chi expert who believes that these moves were never intended to be a health practice.
They are intended to be a health practice. All martial arts should, and everything that you practice in martial arts should have a clear and distinct benefit to your health and not a detriment to your health. If whatever the fuck you're practicing in your backyard or in some kind of dojo is hurting your joints, your bones, your growth, physically or emotionally or mentally, just get the fuck out of there, please. You know, your life shouldn't physically end at 30. You know, in regards to your physical capabilities, right? It's not like, oh, if you want to throw a few good kicks in your 20s, then in your 40s you're going to end up like unable to like even move without hurting in winter. Yeah, if that's like your goals, go ahead. I don't fucking know. Go ahead and like, you know, do whatever the fuck you want, but that shouldn't be that's not the case though. That's you being fucking delusional. If you're practicing correctly and if you're learning correctly and if you're training correctly, you should not have, yes, it's going to take longer obviously to get to the same results, but yeah, martial arts in general and practicing is a slow burn, my guy. It's not for those who are in a hurry. You know, that's just how it is. It's not cringe, it's not gatekeeping, it's just, you know, it's for your benefit, my dude. It's for your benefit. And then the other point that I wanted to say, fuck, um except that my throat is also still fucked, by the way. The other thing I wanted to say is more like, um, I've told you before, in these forms, in these katas, in these dances, if you will, lies like a small treasure of very obscure knowledge, right? And you need to know how to distill it. Um, so I've told you before about forms and katas and whatnot and other similar concepts, that they're basically a showcase of look what this does. And if you're smart enough, you can see what exactly you're being shown, right? It's up to you to decipher it mentally. Like, what the fuck is this guy showing me? Why is he moving this way? Does this mean that I will do the exact same moves? Does this mean no? It's basically like a moving. It's like a hologram, you know, um, showing you stuff, and you go like, ah, yeah, I wonder what this means. You know, that's kind of it, and also at the same time displaying like a level of mastery. You know, when it comes to finesse. But yeah, and some of it, of course, can be used like as is also, but usually you'd want to break it up and like, you know, separate it and optimize it for you, and like, you know, this is all that shit. I've told you before about that shit. But the idea that like these forms, these katas and all that, are completely useless is stupid. Nothing is completely useless. It's just that you don't know what to take from it. Um, yeah, these are katas and all that are merely just like a demo, like a demo floppy disk showing you kind of like what to expect on that level of mastery. That's basically what it is. Anyway, so the idea of this guy that, yeah, these forms and these movements can be used. Yes, it's technically correct. Of course they can.
There's that first arm break. There's
And combine that with what I said before, which is like what I've said before, which is that real techniques, real methods of striking, real stuff, you can usually tell if it's real. I mean, you can confirm it by does it work under most conditions? Does it work if done slowly? Does it work if done fast? If done this way? If done that way? Generally, how often and under what circumstances would this actually work on someone, and what kind of someone, and when, and how. So there's a lot. It's not as simple as looking at it and saying, oh, there's no way. You gotta go in there and kind of fucking explore and confirm.
Here's the drag. Here's a nut shot. Ooh.
It seems everyone are wrong about Tai Chi.
Like if that movement is displaying a way to manipulate an arm and you just can't fucking visualize it, because visualization is a strong part of training. Everywhere from Tai Chi all the way down to boxing. If you can't visualize, if you can't sense what you're doing and what that would do to someone or to yourself, well, you need to cultivate your imagination and creativity, and you need to cultivate your focus, I guess, because it's a huge part of it. It's a huge part of it, honestly. But if you're doing a nice flowy motion, and then you can be like, wait a minute, is that some sort of like instruction? Can I turn it into something? Now you're starting to cook.
Including me.
So I thought Tai Chi was for old people in parks.
Any of the traditional martial arts have physical practices, right, that lend to a healthier body. We're training posture, we're training alignment, we're training coordination. But the origins of the system are much more rough and tumble. These were martial arts that came from people that were palace guards, people who were bodyguards and such. So their martial arts had to be very...
Once again, I'm gonna disclaim that I don't give a shit about the historical part of anything. I'm just looking at it and going, does that do anything? Do I enjoy it? What do I have to say about it? So to me, saying, oh, this art originated in this and it is made for grandfathers, or no, it is made for granddaughters, oh no, it comes from a caste of warriors, oh no, it comes from like the people who danced, it comes from this, it comes like, who the fuck cares? What does it do? Show me.
Very effective and very no nonsense. For example, you almost always see them do this. It looks like that kind of zombie-ish move. You're doing the Tai Chi zombie, and like, what are you gonna do? Zombie after somebody? If you're grabbing my wrist, like here.
Now this is a very basic manipulation there to counter somebody's grab. It's not like specific to Tai Chi, but it turns out that this person's experience with Tai Chi has shown him that you can use these motions, which you can be inspired by them, of course. For all we know, they might even signify exactly that, but who the fuck knows? You can use them this way.
So that's the initial up and down. Right?
Yeah.
So as you're here, like whether it's on my bicep, even if it's like a lapel grab.
Right.
And then here, I don't even need to continue grabbing this wrist. No, I
You would need to.
have two for the price of one.
That's a compliant opponent. You would need to actually hold it. You would need to be fluid and fast with this, because all you got is the surprise that you're going to cause to your opponent by the displacement and awkwardness that they're gonna feel from this motion.
And then here, I don't even need to.
Because this is easy to combat. Like if you don't lose your shit if somebody tries that, you can even headbutt them. You can even you can react. And that's why I'm saying compliant. I'm not saying Jesse is selling it. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that the less control, like here's something. Here's a rule, right? Here's a good rule. A good way to understand how skilled someone is how much control they need to exert on you in order for them to apply a manipulation or a strategy on you and finish it, get it to the end result of that manipulation. Because again, nothing is as simple as I will apply this technique and that technique will apply. That's not what happens. And that's also why you have some fucking charlatans who are like, I am at such a level where I don't even need to touch you. You know, that kind of shit. Um, all these techniques and manipulations and everything, even if you reach like honestly the top tier, you know, skill tiers, let's say, um, you are still bound, quite obviously, by our reality, right? And as we understand it, by its laws and you know whatever physics govern it. For better or worse, if there is a way to transcend these, well, we don't know it, you know. But what we do know is that that hasn't happened, and therefore it's safe to assume that you cannot count on that happening when you are learning something. So, no matter what, you will always still have some contact, and you can say, therefore, at least for some of it, that the less contact you require to maintain, the more skilled you are. It means that you are applying your strategies and your techniques with such fucking speed, precision, and you know, execution, everything, that the opponent just cannot react. You don't allow openings, you don't allow reaction time, you know. But that is like, yeah, you should aspire to be like that. But you know, also keep it real, and keep it, you know, also practical. Because even if you are destined, let's say, if you believe in destiny or whatever, I don't, but whatever. If you are destined to be like the chosen one, right? You are still going to go through certain stages, and most of them will involve learning like the rest of us. So yes, you will need more control. You will go through stages where you will need to apply more control. So when this guy is saying, just to bring it back to the original thing, when this guy is saying, "Oh, I don't even need to do this. I don't even need to do that," no, that wholly depends on the opponent and your experience. You know, fighting opponents of that tier. So in other words, this is almost like a little bit dissing Jesse here, and it's also like Jesse is always so fucking compliant. But then again, Jesse's mission with his videos is always to allow the other person to demonstrate. So it is also understandable, right? And also fun. I mean, he's having fun getting thrown around. And I know this because it is fun being thrown around. It is fun, you know, being shown that shit, especially if you've never seen them before and you just want to like check them out and all that crap. Like it's fun, you know, it's fun. So, you know, and you're interested and your mind is trying to catch up because this guy already knows it, but this guy doesn't. And so whenever this guy sees it, he's one step behind because he's already thinking about what happened, whereas this person is thinking about what's about to happen. And so that kind of like cock blocks compliance. Um, oh, sorry, not compliance, reaction. And this can be also something that can happen to you in a fight. Actually, if you get fucking bamboozled by what's happening, you will start losing frame advantage. To put it that way, you're gonna start losing initiative. You know, and you're gonna start falling behind, and that's when your opponent will basically control you, especially if they can predict you or cause you to be predictable, you know, which is a step further than to cause you to space out a bit. um so yeah, you should definitely like experience and imagination and being sensitive with your body, like being able to feel what's happening instinctively, you know, and to be comfortable with contact and with perhaps even unusual like positions. don't don't you fucking perverts. Not those positions, okay? But similar though, but similar, you know? Yeah, it helps. And also staying focused and having a clear mind will also help. and an open mind, because you will always see things that you haven't seen. But anyway, yeah, to simplify it though, you do need to control more. Like, it's better safe than sorry, even if you're really good, right? Isn't it better safe than sorry? Isn't it better to secure this wrist? Isn't it better to not have this open fingered, but at least like your index finger, well, your not your index finger, the finger which you flip at people, right? I don't remember the name of that one. Your middle finger, let's say. Okay, I don't know if it has a name. Um, but because the name in Greece is like, I'm not gonna, it's inappropriate. Uh, anyway, it would be better to wrap that finger around here at the correct spot, as to prevent, you know, um, escape, for example, because Jesse can escape so easily from this. Like, it's so easy, it's crazy. He can even reverse the whole thing and perform an armbar. All he has to do is take this arm right here, bring it down through here and over, and that's an armbar. That's it. The problem solved. But he in turn would also have to stun this guy. But he can do that very easily, either from below or from above. So from what I understand so far, this guy has seen the techniques. He's seen them, but he's not seeing what is around them. But maybe he does. We don't know yet. And that's the mystery, because it's only the first minute.
To continue grabbing this wrist. Now, I have two for the price of one. I could throw you over the leg, or I could just break right here. Then there comes into this next part from here. There's the hit, neck break. And so these are all different applications. And now let me show you what it looks like in the form. This we already did.
Yeah.
This we already did. From here, I just shifted and turned, came back, ward off, roll out.
But yeah, his realizations are correct. I fully agree with his realizations that there is a small treasure to be found in forms and all that.
Pull back. And this pullback was the neck crank into the takedown.
Yeah. Do Tai Chi practitioners know that this is what they're actually practicing?
The beauty of Tai Chi is it's sort of like a knife, right? You can have a knife and you can use it for cooking, or you can have a knife and use it as a self-defense tool. Tai Chi is marketed mostly as health exercise. It's outstanding, truly zero impact exercise, right? Because like, you're not having to stomp down or anything like that. Every step should be executed in such a way where
That is why it's so healthy, because basically you are massaging your body by using it, but in such a way that it doesn't cause any kind of trauma or or recoil to anything. You see what I mean? So it's very good for your joints, and also because it's slow and methodical, it builds patience, and it's a vibe in general. It's a vibe in general.
as you put your foot down, you are in perfect balance on your standing leg. That does great things for your joints,
Yeah.
It
and
does.
certainly a lot for soft tissue health.
And also perhaps mental health.
Certainly. Anxiety.
Yeah.
And if you think about what anxiety can be, as far as an explanation, an inability to control the dimmer switch of your mind. So it feels like it's always on that kind of full brightness. Like, I can't tone down, I can't chill out, I can't relax, I can't feel
That was me last night.
calm or feel good.
Yeah.
So the beauty of Tai Chi is it gives you a chance to explore such slow movement,
Exactly.
right? Like even our kicks, to be able to kick in such a way where like you're really taking your time kicking slowly and staying loose in a way that doesn't require momentum.
These are principles that are highly encouraged, or by me. At least I highly encourage them. As I've told you before, you should keep only what can be performed by you under most circumstances, and these circumstances also involve speed. And training slowly has a very different set of benefits to offer you than training fast, which is not to say that training for speed is bad. It's awesome. But training slowly is also awesome. It's a completely different kind of training, and you should combine both. And now I want you to tell me why this guy has a blue fake AK there and a shotgun. I would really, really like to know that. I'm also curious as to what this is and what that is. Is that a tactical mall ninja scythe? And is that a tactical mall ninja like... All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I don't care. Let's go on.
Is a little bit different. But the thing is that, like, if we lull ourselves into thinking like, oh look, I can work slow and now I can fight.
Yeah.
If you haven't tested it, no.
So one needs to actually practice the application of these movements.
Absolutely. And just like, in boxing, if we're doing jab cross and hitting pads, right? Similarly, we have to be able to do the same thing on a live opponent or a live target.
Can we look at the practical application of that kick you did and the hand formation? It looked kind of interesting.
Okay, so like, oftentimes people see this and they're like, why are you putting two hands out there like that? Let's say you're attacking me, however you want to attack.
Okay. Right.
So I'm going to intercept like this, right?
Yeah.
From here, I'm going to push this around.
Yeah.
Come back around, hit again.
Yeah.
Kick there.
Oh, yeah, that was the second kick.
Yes. Okay, what if the guy's like already on top of me and he's like already choking
yeah,
me or whatever,
yeah, right,
hugging me
right.
like, oh, how do you kick from here? You don't.
No. Yeah.
You don't. You do something else. You
Yeah, you would have to use your knees or something else. That is true.
counter grapple, you throw, you do something, you sweep.
Yes.
But like, every tool has its proper contextual application.
That is very correct, yes. And that is why martial arts, quote unquote, styles that focus on something very specific are usually practiced by very stubborn people who just can't see beyond what's there, and they will insist to make what's there work in every circumstance. I'm gonna call out like people who practice Muay Thai, for example. They have this tendency to be like, okay, I use knees, I'm brutal. Well, yes, knees and elbows do have their place, but like, fun religiously, almost religiously, swearing by that and just trying to use just that and compromising your tactics and your security just to use that is kind of dumb. And this goes to show, like, separation of style is just bad. That's it. I'm not gonna go much into it like I do other times, but yeah, separating martial arts and styles is dumb as fuck. And separating them by stupid abstract criteria such as this is an angry and violent martial art, this is a peaceful and slow martial art. You're gonna make false assumptions so fast and so often that you're never gonna learn shit. You're gonna be blinded by your own like false perceptions of how things work. Because Tai Chi can be very violent in the sense of like the practitioner can be very violent and find ways to apply what they know that will be sadistic and probably lethal. Um, or to put it even more accurately, somebody who has practiced Tai Chi and is violent might create circumstances for themselves where the knowledge they've gained through practicing with Tai Chi can be put to lethal effect and lethal results. So, yeah, it doesn't really mean anything when we say, oh my god, this martial art uses finger strikes. Sorry, my throat is fucked, as I said. And oh, this martial art is peaceful. And this martial arts aren't people. They aren't peaceful. They aren't fast. They aren't strong. They aren't, brutal, or they're nothing. They are just things. The rest is like us, the people using them, right?
So like, I'm gonna use a longer weapon at longer range, so whether here, but then
Ooh.
Yeah, nothing new here. If you've watched my other videos about martial arts, it's all about range and location, like area where you want to strike and how you want to do it. Honestly. So yeah, you would use a different strike, you would use a different limb of yours, something that is longer, is more suitable. Like for example, your cock, that thing probably is suitable for spear distance. If you are like following me, that's true. If not, then it's probably like maybe like Swiss Army knife distance. But don't mind that. What I'm trying to say is that yeah, everything has its place.
let me break that down frame by frame.
Yeah.
So like
Oh, that's a joint lock.
pulling across,
Arm drag.
hitting up.
Yeah.
So I have an option for cranking this, right?
Yeah.
And then I have a groin shot.
Sorry, I was yawning. This type of loose securing of limbs can result in so many problems. But look at something nice on the other hand, right? What have I told you? What have I told you about your fingers and, keeping them extended and stuff like that? This guy knows that shit.
So there's
You can tell because of how he's doing this, but he cannot understand. He's too focused on this part, but he's forgetting 90% of a human being, and that human being is forgetting 90% of themselves, which also can happen. Because usually, let me tell you how the mind works more often than not, especially in an untrained mind. If I strike you and let's say it lands on your shoulder, now as far as your perception goes, okay, you are your shoulder. Think about it for a moment. If I punch you in the gut for a few precious seconds, maybe more, all you are is that area that I just I don't want to say stroked, okay? But I can stroke many areas on you. That is not the point of this. So if I hit you somewhere, you're going to be focused on that. And that goes double so. If I apply some kind of manipulation on you and it starts hurting, that pain is going to do one specific job, which is its natural job to do. It's going to tell you, hey, dude, that thing over here, that thing is not okay. Do something about it. That's what pain does. And that muddies your focus, which means that, remember that clear mind we talked about? That's not going to be there. And you're going to forget that you have a free hand. You're going to forget that you have two good feet. You're going to forget a lot of things. Obviously, that shouldn't be happening.
I have an option for cranking this, right?
Yeah.
And then I have a groin shot here, right?
Yeah.
And so as I'm moving, there's that first arm break.
You know why some people are compliant? That's because they don't want to get hurt. Not necessarily they're afraid of getting hurt, but they don't want to be hurt. Which is, that's respectful. Okay, or that's respected, as you say. However, you should cultivate trust and confidence if this is the case for you. You should learn to cultivate trust and confidence in your partner so that you will move away from that and you will not comply because you just don't want to bother with getting hurt. A little bit of hurt is always going to happen. Like if I touch you, you could technically say I am hurting you just by touching you. It really depends on your perception, and the intensity of the touch. You gotta kind of meet in the middle. You gotta kind of say, well, if I'm gonna have, training sessions, if I'm gonna practice, especially with another human being, I'm going to have to let them, I'm going to have to trust them that they're not going to hurt me, and that if they do, they're not going to do so maliciously. And I got to give them the chance to adjust their touch, you know, just as I adjust my response to their touch, until you reach a point where one of you isn't hurting the other and the other is not complying unless enough force is applied to justify it. It's a sweet middle ground where, you don't want to cause injury, but you also want to perform your techniques, your strikes, your whatever, in a way that doesn't leave doubt as to whether or not something would have the results you wanted it to. Okay? So what Jesse is doing here and in many videos, and this is not a critique on Jesse, on a personal level, but because for all I know, maybe he's putting up a show, maybe like in an actual fight, this guy is a fucking beast. I don't fucking know. But what is shown in these videos, at least, he does tend to comply, and it's not out of fear of hurting. It's basically a stranger touching your body. These people are all masters, quote unquote. They are used to this kind of thing. They are in their lane. They're moisturized. They're focused. Jesse's just there with like camera stress, with like, I don't know where the fuck I'm going. Who the fuck knows how this guy is gonna touch me to show me something. So he's a little bit on alert, apprehensive, I would say, cautious, which in his case kind of turns into compliance when it comes to demonstration. And again, it might be on purpose as well, because these guys are supposed to be allowed to show you some shit, otherwise you won't see it, right? Nor is Jesse trying to embarrass them or anything, even though why you would feel embarrassment from your techniques proven wrong or unworthy, I don't fucking know, but whatever. I guess in the spirit of not showing disrespect, he might also be more compliant than he would have been otherwise, or he usually is. I don't fucking know. Again, I'm not criticizing Jesse, and I'm grateful that like I can comment on his videos, because they're a great source of entertainment for me, and they keep my mind sharp, because I can analyze them like that, and I can talk to you, and so I'm really grateful for that shit. And yeah, I'm not gonna personally judge Jesse, but to me it looks like this reaction is more compliant than it should be. Anyway,
There's the drag. Here's another arm crank. Here's a nut shot. All these different movements.
here's a nut
and
shot.
Opportunistic strikes or cranks.
The way that he said that so casually was so funny, but I can't really. I want to make some voices and shit, but I can't because my throat hurts. But like, he's a nut shot.
Joint cranks
Yes.
that are hidden within
Bro.
the form.
Let's keep going.
Absolutely.
Other applications. I'm loving this.
Here's a
Cool.
nut shot.
One that I'm particularly fond of is one that's called Strike Tiger. So
Stripe tiger.
Strike Tiger.
Strike tiger. Okay.
Yeah. The ending posture looks like this.
All right.
And so like, oh,
Very
you're
powerful.
Like,
Okay. That looks cool. Yeah,
it
okay.
looks like very like something you would see even in kata, right? Japanese kata.
Exactly. Yeah. There are a lot of these motions in karate.
If we rewind a little bit and look at what precedes that, we have a movement that's like just a basic front kick. Bring the feet together. It looks almost like a hula move from here, right? Step, pull across, and then that strike tiger bit right here, right? So if I could have you over here on this
Okay.
side.
Are you gonna
Either
show
come
an
at me with
armbar?
whatever.
I like that you always want me to just do whatever.
Because the thing is that to me, if everything I do works only under a very, very, very narrow set of circumstances, then like, okay, then my level of ability is limited.
My guy, thank you. Yes, that is correct. I told you, this guy, He may be focused on something too much right now, but he knows. He's glanced, glimpsed. Maybe it's a better word than glanced. He's glimpsed at the wealth of knowledge.
Super limited.
Yeah.
If I can capitalize on whatever you do and guide you into the thing that I want to do,
Yeah.
then that's a different level of understanding.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
So,
I'm coming at you.
bam, right?
Right.
From here I hit, grab. There's a joint control here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be gentle on the shoulder, so I'm engulfing you this way.
Yeah.
So this is strike tiger.
Okay, it was an armbar.
So
I'm
what
happy.
if I would grab you and attack you?
So this is
Yeah.
hand strumming the lute in Tai Chi. So like if you were to grab and attack,
Yeah.
I would duck out and then twist the wrist so that now I'm biasing your elbow downward, right?
Yep.
And then hug
Hyper-
upwards.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so from here, then I can brace you against my own body. Now, arguably, people are going to say, oh, but I could claw you and grab you and do all these other things.
No, you will not claw. How would you claw? What are you gonna do? Like dig with your fingers into his like chest cavity and rip out his rib cage? Like if you're that strong at that point, you might as well just kill him with a single punch. But this here is unstable. You can easily twist your arm and get out of it. I know because I've done that. Like these are valid ways to get out of these situations.
You could, but then I have your elbow. So then, like, if I
Yeah.
decided to do like hip forward and snap that, then
You would not be able to just snap that.
that game is over. And then from there, then it comes right into another hit. So in the form, it'll look like this: a brush knee.
However, that is not to say that the manipulation is impossible or incorrect. But it is definitely one that would require that you make sure that the enemy gives you the advantage there.
Hands play the pea-paw, and then into another brush knee.
What about if I kick you? How would you defend, let's say, a roundhouse?
The same direction, right? So
And they do this in Thai boxing, actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to know, like, does it work in the ring?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Thai boxers do. it. So like, I'm not doing this.
No.
I'm not standing my ground and trying to eat this, right?
Exactly, yeah.
No.
Right.
So I'm doing like catching the kick from here, right?
Yeah.
And that is why when you strike with your feet, you should be far less telegraphed. And that is also why, for example, you should be very precise with how you strike certain areas. Because in this case, right, why is he able to do that?
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Let's
if you wanna
explain. Look at
know,
this.
like, does it work in the ring?
Look at
Yeah,
this
I mean, Thai
telegraph.
boxers do it. So like, I'm not doing this.
This is too easy to see. If that was straight, I've even made an MS Paint of this. But if it was straight and the last moment it twisted into the strike here, then he wouldn't be able to do that. He would
Yes.
have already received the strike in this instance. There wouldn't be even any contact here between this guy's arm and Jesse's leg. But Jesse is doing the very typical, very vanilla kind of like, side kick, let's say, right? Or not side kick, but like, whatever the fuck you call that. I'm bad with names. No, if you want to hit this guy at at the side of his torso, it would still be performed very similarly to what you call a front kick, except at the very end you would snap a little bit to the side, your standing foot a little bit on the ball, you would twist a little bit. Your striking foot would also slightly twist so that the ball of your foot gets planted in this area here, like right at the last second. So good luck fucking grabbing the leg like that. Yeah.
No.
I'm not standing my ground and trying to eat this, right?
Exactly, yeah.
No.
Right.
So I'm doing like catching the kick from here, right?
Yeah.
But one very correct thing is that let's say that you are in that scenario, okay? let's say that you are in this scenario. Okay,
I'm not standing my
Notice.
ground and trying to eat this, right?
Exactly, yeah.
No.
notice.
So I'm doing like catch.
Oh, he's already moving with the kick, minimizing the impact. That part, in a vacuum, is correct and belongs to the general idea or the general lesson, I guess, of knowing how to absorb a blow. Like if your dodging fails, if your manipulations fail, if everything fails, you still have one line of defense, which is to at the very least try to adjust to minimize the impact of the blow you're about to receive. And by movement is very valid to achieve this, just as is like twisting or turning or relaxing or even tensing in some cases, right? These are valid methods to receive a kick. But I have to say that if the target was the side, like the rib cage, and the method of striking was the foot, then Jesse is just doing it horribly wrong and very predictable, especially for a guy at this level or at Jesse's level. What they should be doing is like what Jesse should be doing is minimizing the movement. Um, it would literally look as if you're just gonna do a very simple front kick, let's say, right? And then he would just, again, as I described earlier, uh, twist it last second, bury that fucking. Or again, if you have hardened your toes, for example, bury the fucking toes. Or if you have like a boot, right? You bury the toe cap in there, right? And that causes the damage there. That's a lot of damage, and this guy will not have the time to react to that. And even if he does move away, he's not gonna be taking your leg with him. So yeah.
Catching the kick from here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then coming back with the same thing the other side. So what I'm doing is once I catch, I then want to reject. So coming from the catch, I'm going to push this down. And if, let's say the hands come at the same time, right?
Oh, you mean I would
Yeah,
punch
go ahead.
you?
I mean, if I'm holding here, right, what would you do?
Right, I'll go back, or I would try to like, pull it out.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
No, I mean the
Yeah,
safest
if I'm holding here,
the safest reaction here, for me, if you're curious, right? Actually, you know what? Let's make a mini game. I'm gonna take 5. I'll make a very warm tea for my neck. By the time I'm back, I wonder if you will have figured out. Don't Google it. Don't ask around. Don't read or watch movies. Nothing. Just stay there and see if in the next 1 minute you can figure out the most ideal way for escaping right now. And if I come back and for some reason somebody has typed, oh, I would do this and that, I'm going to respond to it. And if nobody has typed anything, which probably should be the case, knowing my audience and myself and my stream, I will just tell you, because we're here to discuss that. I'm not here to be cryptic or teach you. But hey, since I'm going away to make some tea, why not make it into a silly mini game, Anyway, but yeah, let's see if you can figure it without looking shit up or asking a clanker to solve it for you. But yeah, anyway, I will be right back, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh, the battery. All right, let me find one. I'll be right back again. I'm gonna get a battery. All right, I have a spare one. Let's see if that one will work. Hmm, it might already be depleted, but I guess I'm finding out. Let's see. That's it. Ah, what is? Come on. Could you not like do that? Okay, great. All right, there we go. Here it goes. Slide that shit in and see what happens. Is this okay? Yeah? Is this actually okay? Huh. Who the fuck knew, right? Alright. Turns out I had I had a proper spare. Anyway, so here's the thing. The best way, there are three ways that would be in the top three, right? And then there are more ways, but I wouldn't rate them as high personally, not in this weird circumstance, right? All right, so number one would be, well, push into. There is no way that the person is going to hold your whole weight, right? So push into. That is first, okay? You will get closer. They will let you go because they also need to defend. If they don't, they're fucked. Especially with a combined like threat to the face or whatever else, doesn't matter. So, but pushing into, let's keep it simple. That would be one way, right? Another way, depending on how athletic you are, you can jump, right? And wrap your other leg around them. And that would be a second way. They are going to have to let go, and then you can also just dismount. Or you can stay mounted if you can, and that can be advantageous, but we're not going to talk about that. And no, I wasn't being sarcastic. I mean it. That can be advantageous. And the other would be, well, to strike before anything else, which would facilitate, you know, quite a lot the situation. But these would be the most, um, for me, like the top tier contenders for best way to break. And me personally, in this situation, I would probably try to perform a manipulation with that arm, either to actually pull it through or to threaten so that the target has to leave this hold, while also trying to push into because that gets me closer to them. So I would say, if I were to keep it short, a combination of striking and then pushing into, so that I can actually, resume whatever the fuck I was doing. If I was feeling fancy, I would like, if you're feeling really fancy, you can try to like either spin this way or spin this way if you're feeling fancy, right? Um, but will that have guaranteed results? Is it really such a cool blind shot? No, no, it's not. Uh, but it will force somebody to like abandon this hold here. Obviously, just be ready to, well, basically kick air. Because, for example, if I was the one holding you like that, oh boy, I would not be holding you for long. Trust me. So carrying you around like that would not be an option. Like whatever you're gonna do, if you have somebody like this, you gotta do fast. Either way, if such a kick comes, just letting go and stepping back is very valid. But effectively, in that case, Jesse would still be would still be like free. So I guess that accomplishes it. And if the other person doesn't step away quickly, they will get fucking drop kicked. So there is also that, I guess. But no, my favorite would still be some kind of distraction, whether it is meaningful or not. Meaningful as in try to begin applying some manipulation to threaten or to strike. And then I would say the best is to push in there. Like, just go in there downwards with the intent of landing your foot, obviously. I don't know if I need to say that, but that's the intent. The weight, like your natural weight, is gonna be enough to just break this. So yeah. Even if it isn't, they are at a very weird spot, posture-wise. Even if they don't break this hold. I'm trying to think of any danger to the genitals, but nothing extraordinary could happen. But hey, that can happen with every maneuver, right? You just gotta be careful. You just gotta, not let it happen. But if I was the one holding the leg, yes, I would probably backfist the genitals while also maybe targeting this. Yeah, like backfist them with this. This would be defending. I would never, uh, posture. Is that the word? I would never posture like this. Like, what are you implying, that you are in control? You're not. If I was this guy, this hand would be somewhere here, protecting. Anyway, cool mini game. Moving on.
Right? What would you do?
Right, I'll go back, or I would try to pull it out.
Right. So it's like, boom.
Yeah.
Pulling it out, yeah.
Right? Then I can go
Out.
Right,
So,
right. If
listen.
I'm holding here, right? What would you do?
Right, I'll go back.
Did you see his response to a strike? 0. His hand is not there. His other hand is trapped by Jess's leg. So a strike would absolutely work. As I said, a distraction or any other application of force or technique. And then would try to free. You're touching there. That is not quite good. But instead of that, how about you simply push through? Just push in there.
Pull it out.
Right. Right. So it's like, boom.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's a strike to distract, this maneuver would not matter. And now you've caused them to drop your leg. Mission complete. If it was something you wanted to do, well, it got pushed away and mission complete. You are not at a disadvantage in this.
Yeah.
Right. Then I can go into any of the other techniques, depending on.
Can you though?
I would try to
Because
pull
look,
it out.
Right. So it's like, boom.
Yeah.
yeah. This hand, as I've said before, you have to keep the limbs that you're not using, you have to keep them in the vehicle, right? You gotta keep them in the vehicle. What is Jesse's arm doing over there? Look at this.
Right.
Look
So
at
it's like,
this.
boom.
He's already telegraphing it. Whoa. No, it should be here, protecting. And then this can't happen.
Yeah.
Right. Then I can go into any of the other
Keep your limbs in the vehicle when at high speeds.
techniques, depending on where your landmarks are. So what I did there was what's called part wild horse's mane, which isn't in the form directly after the strike tiger, but you can mix and match it.
Another thing that I see a lot in Tai Chi is push hands.
Yes. If I'm pushing towards you and you just yield, let redirect my force, because I'm going to push towards the center of your chest. You're going to let it glide off to the side. And then you're going to return to sender, right? And I'm going to do the same thing. And this is one platform in which we're doing it, because we're in open stance. We can also go closed stance.
Yeah, this is one of the coolest exercises, honestly. I recommend it.
stance. We can also switch and do the other side. So like if we're here
Right.
and you start to punch, right?
Yeah.
And I'm first intercept and then redirect.
Yes.
This is not
And that's what will happen if you dedicate too much focus on one strike. And I've told you before, you should not be doing that. Don't be ceremonious or ceremonial in your strikes, right? Just think of what's effective.
that different from
He's committing way too much, like his whole shoulder is like served. His whole arm is blocking his other arm. Everything depends on this arm not getting blocked or redirected, or if it does, that it is a dry block, just blocked, just obstructed, but not deflected or intercepted. That is why it's short. That's why I'm telling you sometimes that like striking with your hands is not as long range as you would think. Okay, it's below your knees even a little bit. Like actually, let me confirm. One second. Yeah, depending on how restrained you are, your knee might actually have a longer reach, for example. And also depending on how on purpose not restrained you are with your arm, right? Because in some situations you will want to go in there, you would want to drive it in, right? But that should never be like dry, a vacuum attempt.
Yeah.
And that way, and especially with the way I've told you before, of how you should be functioning and thinking of your joints, ankles, right? Angles, sorry, not ankles. My God, angles. The more you mind that, and the more you do that correctly, the less unsafe your hand strikes will be.
Right. Exactly.
but again, I'm also training myself so as let's say you punch, right?
Yeah.
I'm deflecting, but then I'm training myself that I need to return to sender. It's not like, oh, I defended myself. Okay, great, awesome.
Yeah, no.
You got to return to sender right away.
And that's a high-level fighting concept. That's hidden.
No, that is a basic concept. Fighting is like a dance. It's like it doesn't stop because you performed the move correctly. It doesn't stop because you achieved one result. It only stops when the other person, I guess, is either too tired or otherwise unable to continue, right? Too hurt, too tired, too injured, or too controlled, I guess, by you, that is, to continue. So the fact that Jesse says that this is a high-level concept is alarming. It is not a high-level concept. It is a literally day one lesson.
Inside
Yes.
of the push hands.
Yes. Yes. But similarly too, it teaches me that like, let's say I'm successful at deflecting this, but then I start going back along the same line.
Yeah.
But if there's resistance, I don't want to fight force with force. I want to just find something else. So like create a moment of unbalance
Yes.
to either attack some other way or open up a different opportunity.
What about elbows and knees? You strike with those as well.
As you're attacking, I'm going to deflect, but then I'm going to try and melt into that opening, like the opening right under here, and just drop in, turning my face away so that I don't
I think that Jesse meant what if he attacks the guy with his elbows and knees.
have to deal with the incoming blow and then hit here, right? Then I'm going to spin out to create space. So in the form, it'll look like this. Here, elbow back, and then I'm going to step out, and then that.
Okay. And knee strikes.
Knee strikes. So one of the things, like let's say you're doing a double choke or
Okay,
something like that,
yeah.
or like even a lapel grab,
Right,
like if you
right.
grab my gi or whatever, right?
Is he gonna show like the most vanilla thing ever?
I can also pull you down from here at the same time. As I pull you down, I'm going to leverage your knee up. I'm sorry, your chin up. As your chin goes up, your groin goes forward.
Yep.
You don't need the groin to go forward. You can just knee him where he is. Like if he's going to attempt to grab you. So basically he's trying to shoehorn some things into Tai Chi, whereas in reality you shouldn't separate it to begin with, because that creates the illusion that you can do everything with just a limited part of something.
This is a wonderful thing for me if I want to be kneeing you in the groin, right?
Yeah.
The beauty of this two-pronged attack is If I knee your groin, your face comes forward.
Yeah.
If I hyperextend your neck, your groin comes forward.
Yeah, perfect
So-
combo.
Right.
Yeah.
So the idea in
You've completely lost me on this one, ancient Tai Chi guy.
the form is it looks like this.
Uh,
Mm.
So when you see movements like this,
Yeah.
that's the idea.
If I did a karate kata slowly, it will be almost like Tai Chi.
yes, it should.
So think about this. Actually, I remember reading an article about the late Kanazawa sensei,
Okay.
Kanazawa Hirokazu sensei,
Yeah.
saying that like I believe it was him who studied Tai Chi at the urging of one of his seniors, and he said that it made his karate even better because
Yeah, of course. Everything that you learn makes something else that you knew better. Because you're learning parts of a whole. Even if your stupid mind is telling you, oh, there are different styles.
he actually started relaxing more.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that's really cool because this guy is like an incredible fighter in his day.
Yeah.
And so I keep thinking like in karate, if you were to do the movements slowly, try to relax and do them in like with proper alignment, but
Yeah, but it's the same also for what you guys call Tai Chi. If you were to tense up and add speed, then that improves your Tai Chi in certain conditions. You see how everything is yin and yang? Do you see how everything is the same and has the same source and are parts of the same fragmented whole? Like, it's almost as if, like, it just clicks together, right?
minimum like tension and like
Yeah.
angst. But like, so if we were to like take our time and like,
Right. Step. What do? Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it would make sense that you'd still be able to reap the benefits of a Tai Chi-ish kind of thing.
Exactly.
But again,
Yeah.
can you dial it all the way down? Can you go even slower? The slower we go, the more demand we place on our stabilizing muscles.
Yeah.
That is very true as well. And that is also the main benefit here by going slow and by performing your techniques slow. You are putting, more strain on muscles that are otherwise only used momentarily, like snap, and they don't need to perform more than that. But in reality, in a fight, they would need to perform more than that because, for example, maybe your kick gets intercepted and maybe a weird, like, guy in a black suit that knows Tai Chi grabs it. But then, because you haven't ever done it slow, the muscles supporting your weight are now starting to wobble, and you're going to fall. And you're dead because that wild guy is now on top of you and like Tai Chiing you. Anyway, I'm just using funny examples. This guy's cool. But you get it now, right? So that is a very, very, very core benefit of doing stuff slow, as there are benefits in doing stuff fast that are different than those that are slow. That was a word salad. But you got the point because you're smart. That's why you're here. I hope.
So for those of your audience who are physical therapists and strength coaches, they totally get that. And it's more time under load.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, right, like what's the longest kata, traditional Japanese kata that you know? How long would it take?
In minutes?
Yeah, minutes.
Maybe 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Yang style large frame long form, one rep through at moderate speed is about 30 minutes.
What?
One rep. So if you can
That's insane.
right, it's a totally different paradigm shift. So when you're working
Yeah, it's insane. You do something slower, it takes more time. I wouldn't have known.
the legs that much, when you're working the stance that much, you're developing
I'm just teasing, of course. I mean, come on, allow me to fucking, fuck off.
an incredible amount of endurance there. Try to train your movement in such a way where you are your own slow-mo replay.
Okay.
Because you want to be able to develop that kind of postural control and also have that time to be able to audit yourself. So in other words, like if I'm moving fast, like whatever, like wow, doing whatever.
Don't be your own judge. That's the word I will use very carefully. Don't be your own judge. Because then you are devoting a lot of resources into judging And you're also starting to second guess yourself. You know what? There's time for that later. After the training, you can meditate on what you feel could have improved. And then as you're meditating, you can visualize improving it. And then next day when you practice, it will be there for you. My God, sometimes I sound somewhere between wise and an asshole. Sometimes.
movements I want to do. How much time do I have to perceive error in my movement? Not a lot.
No.
But if I have a lot of time where like I can just, oh yeah, I can straighten up a little bit more. Oh yeah, I can relax my shoulders a little bit more. Oh, I can extend.
Yeah, and that's exactly how you can't tell the forest from the trees afterwards. That's why you shouldn't be doing that. You should review mentally what you've done. You should be able to recall what you've done. That's also an exercise for your memory. And then you should meditate and work it through meditation and then practice again the other day with a clear mind without bothering yourself about yourself.
Extend a little bit straight.
So this is completely wrong what he's saying right now, but the benefits of slow training and fast training and medium speed training and everything in between training are very clear, and they should be, obvious to you, and you should be practicing that way,
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
We have time for those kinds of audits. And
Yes.
as we have time for those kinds of audits, then we can improve.
Yeah.
But if we're going too fast, again, covering up our mistakes with speed,
Yeah.
we don't have that chance to improve.
No, exactly. I can see how this is useful even for people who do.
I hope it's not necessary to tell you that you shouldn't be using your speed to cover for mistakes. Like, you shouldn't be using speed to compensate for lack of technique. You shouldn't be using strength to compensate for the lack of speed. You are trying to push yourself as a whole to higher levels. You're not trying to create in yourself a misconception of strength is everything and speed is everything, or stamina is everything, or discipline is everything. You know what? Everything you can, try to improve it, and don't be an asshole about it. Just try to improve it. Just keep doing it. So yeah, don't try to compensate for something with something else. Compensate for something with that something by improving in it. If you're lacking speed, well, time to get down to training. It's if you're lacking cardio, focus it and then pick up your training later.
Modern combat sports. Let's say somebody does MMA, just working their jab slowly instead of always doing it fast. Just these basic things.
And in some gyms, that's how they warm up. Like they'll actually warm up just nice and easy, relaxed. So it's like they're
That punch is so weird.
grooving, pain-free movement,
Yeah.
nice biomechanics. And if you think about it, what's the difference between shadow boxing and kata? There's none.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm mostly in agreement with this guy, but yeah, just a couple of things he said were kind of like missing the mark in my humble opinion. And he does have this air of somebody who knows his shit, but also is kind of too excited about a recent discovery, or maybe not too recent discovery, or too excited about presenting what they know under a certain light to consider that maybe that's just like basic shit that he should already know. But I cannot fault that honestly too much. And to be fair, some of the things that he said so far, including this last one that made me stop the video again, they're quite spot on, I'm gonna say. And the guy himself looks pretty fucking grounded, So all in all, I'd say I kind of enjoyed this. It was refreshing to see a more grounded, more like matter of fact kind of approach. Like,
Really, there's none. The only difference is maybe one has a preset sequence
Yeah.
and another's a little bit more freestyle. But ideally, no matter what, you should be working with the intent of, okay, I have to react to something, even if it's imaginary. And at the same time, too, I want to practice good biomechanics and good presence of mind.
And then that would translate as well to a real fighting situation.
Can translate. So
Can translate, not will translate. That is very true. You need the experiences, after all, the most valuable thing, right?
what we don't train, what we don't test, what we don't stimulate to come out under challenge, we don't know. So in theory, we have these attributes, but whether or not you can call on those attributes under the duress of combat, that remains to be seen. Like, let's say I'm working a throw, right? Like just like a basic hip throw, right? If the only way I can do it is to come in here and just do that hip throw super fast and have to do it with that kind of violence and speed and whatever, right? Versus like, okay, here, oh, here.
Yeah.
It's a different thing. Like when you have the chance to feel and move slowly.
Yes.
And then there's less threat and less chance for injury as well.
Yeah.
So your training partners like you better as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I will agree that that last bit there is very good bit to say. Like, as I've said again, like you do have to develop this kind of like common ground with your partner and familiarity and trust and confidence in each other, and all that, So all in all, I'm
And
pretty
they
happy
also
with this
learn more
episode.
as well.
Truly.
You can throw me quickly 100 times, but when you did that slowly right now, I also observed your movements and understood how it impacted me. So we're
Certainly.
both learning more.
Certainly. That to me is the idea behind martial arts. We should create a situation where everybody wins,
Yeah.
right? At least in training. So that when someone can't win, we're able to go that way too.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This
Thank
was
you,
a true
sir.
pleasure
All right, yeah, it's grounded and restrained.
and
Okay,
honor, and I hope all of you enjoyed that.
we did, Jesse. It was pretty fun. All right, that was cool. Cooler than most episodes. I'll have to say that I've watched like from Jesse. Good thing we watched it. It's pretty fucking cool. Also, give me 5 again. I'll be right back. I'm back. But yeah, so that was interesting. I'm glad it's done. It's out of the damn backlog. And so now we have um, two more actually. I just noticed that one of these tabs that I had was just pinned for different purposes. It's a song. It's nothing to do with us. And so with that, it's only basically two videos, in fact. And then I have other parts of my backlog. But this part of my backlog will be gone. Awesome. Oh, and my flatmate, this is why I blanked the screen, because my flatmate wanted to contact me. And so it's a bit important, so I have to answer. Have to reply to him. So yeah. That's why I'm gonna be a little bit silent. Well, if he doesn't reply in like a couple of minutes, I'll just get back to streaming. But this one I do need to fucking sort out. It's well, basically he wants to come by and drop off a mattress, which is necessary for somebody wanting to stay somewhere, obviously. Uh, so yeah, I'm just trying to see, because like the message I got is like, "You suck." Uh, I'm not gonna give context to that. And then it's like, "Hey, let me ask you. I found a new mattress. Can I drop it by?" Um, and I'm like, "Yeah, you know." When exactly is that? And I'm just waiting for the when exactly is that to be answered. Because if it's right now, well, I'm fucking streaming, right? So I can't. And so that's why I'm giving it a bit of priority and, blank the screen and focus on that a little bit. Come on, Joe, answer the fucking call there. Not call, but All right, I guess I'm not gonna get an answer. Let's go back to streaming then. Also, since we're talking about all that shit, I gotta ask, like, what the fuck? Ever since, remember when? So let me give you some context. Remember when Asmongold made that video that was like, it was kind of, it was heartfelt. It was kind of touching. I teared up at one point because I could relate to whatever he was describing in the moment. And in that video, I was like, dude, after this, I just want to kind of hug you, my guy. Just it's gonna be all right. You're not alone and all that shit. And I was thinking back then that, oh my god, that may be like a turn for Asmon, right? And as I was saying that during that stream, right? Directly the next fucking few weeks, Asmongold wasn't just back in his bigoted, disgusting, filthy ways, like literally, with all the sense of the word, of all these words. He was worse than ever. And then months later, he became even worse than that, to the point where he's literally the fucking rat king. He's the roach lord, he's a Nergal ambassador, like legitimately, both in mind and body at this point. And dude, why did I just fucking hex him so bad? Did I jinx it so bad with that one stream where I was listening to whatever the fuck he was saying and I was responding to it? Like, what the fuck? What happened to you, my guy? Like, how can a person, like, literally, man? It's not like I had like any horse in that race. I'm not like, I have no agenda for Asmongold to be successful or anything. or to fail, though he deserves a lot worse with some of the things he said. But like, how do you become that? How the fuck do you fucking become that? You must be either completely stupid, like literally just unable to think, or I don't like my guy. How? How? Anyway, so the stuff he's saying, fuck, are so disturbing to me. Like, I don't watch him or his videos, and I've blocked them on my YouTube and whatever. Like, don't recommend me that shit, that kind of thing. Don't show me that shit. But through other trans content creators on YouTube, where they get targeted by Asmon and there is drama and whatnot, I kinda inadvertently come into contact with some of his takes. And every time, I swear to fucking God, every time it's just worse. Every time it's just fucking how do you do it, my guy? How are you leveling up backwards? How are you increasing your stats in reverse? And it's a waste because my God, that guy has such a following. If only he used it for some good purpose, instead of spewing like hateful rhetorics and bigotry and all that shit. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, I just wanted to bring it up because, wow, it's just. I didn't mean to hex him, guys. Okay, I didn't mean to jinx it. I'm sorry. I genuinely thought that. I genuinely thought that day when I watched that video that he's gonna like have a change of heart and become like wholesome and shit. And I was happy for it, and I jinxed it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Oh my God. But yeah, no, he's become absolutely fucking disgusting. Say what you will, but my guy is fucking disgusting. And I'm not talking about all the not washing and shit. I'm talking about the more meaningful stuff. Oh, well, whatever. What fucking ever. Rip, I guess. But yeah. I don't know. And then I had a lot of shit to talk about VR chat. Recently I did a deep dive, like really fucking deep dive on the lore and various events that have happened and various figures and various, counter figures and whatever. And holy shit, the rabbit hole is so fucking deep. At one point I got so tired of looking into it, but I intended to talk about it because I've brought VR chat up a couple of times, and like more than a couple actually. And whenever I talk a lot about the subject, which I haven't looked up like recently, I get this urge to do so. Right? I get this urge to look into it for a month or two and then just like talk about it, right? Which is far from any kind of like meaningful preparation or setup, because I just don't have the skills of normal ass YouTubers and content creators to like to write down my shit, and then edit it and then whatever. I just said I'm just not that good, okay. But what I can do is like read up on shit and then just share my thoughts. That I can do. It doesn't take anything to do that. So I will do that. But I just wanted to say, like, before I go today, that, like, yeah, that's probably going to happen next Saturday, basically, or the Saturday after that. And I have to tell you, my God, like, some of the shit I read and some of the material I watched and some deductions I made, by also talking to the clanker about it. You know, my God, if I was let me put it that way, if I was the person who started VR chat, like the person who invented that shit, who one day went like, hey, you know what? Let's make an app that allows this and that, right? And then I own it. If I was that person, I would be well, okay, on one hand I would be proud. There's no going around that. It's huge, it's impactful, it's clever in its conception, like in a vacuum without the people in it, right? It's a smart idea. It was almost an inevitable idea and a very Hollywood idea, if you want my opinion. Um, but on another hand, I would be fucking embarrassed for what it's been used for, and what the implications of that are, you know. But yeah, it's okay. Don't get me wrong. It's still like a place where, from what I've seen, I haven't experienced it. That comes afterwards. I will get there eventually. You know, when I get my own like VR shit, if I ever do, then I might add to what I'm saying now. But right now, I'm just saying that as somebody who, at the maximum, could maybe have the desktop version and then go there with that version and like experience it. But I don't need to have a fucking full body tracking studio, so to speak, suite, let's say, um, to reach conclusions. And now, look, some of these conclusions are going to be wrong. Okay, I'm telling you right now, some of them they might be wrong. I might backtrack on them, backpedal on them a little bit later, but the majority of it is kind of solid, right? And yeah, I don't know, like how it's interesting to me, like reading about it, how it got to the point where now you have like family cults and like this whole, even down to like the vernacular, right? They see another person and they go, this one, blah blah blah, this one, blah blah blah. This is it's such a weird way of speaking, like, you know, and the way they speak, like their manner is like, you know, and this is not everyone, of course, but like the majority of a certain demographic on VR chat, right? But like, holy shit, it's like I don't know, it's weird to me, honestly. It's really weird to me. Anyway, I'll go in a bit in depth about that like next Saturday or the Saturday after that. Okay. For now, I just wanted to say shit's weird, dude. That's all I wanted to say right now. All right. So anyway, it's been 2 hours. Thanks for watching. I hope I was good background noise at the very least. You know, good white noise, I guess, or whatever. Um, and you know what? Best, I hope you had some fun or that you enjoyed at least part of this. I did. So thanks for watching. And I'll catch you on Monday with Guild Wars and then Tuesday with Hollow Knight. And soon Neris is gonna have his week off and we're gonna mod the fuck out of Skyrim. We're talking like continuously like 8-9 hours of fucking modding that shit. Which unfortunately I cannot stream again. Because last time I streamed modding Skyrim, due to some images that I didn't really select to focus on with the intent of like focusing on the image per se, I did make fun of it, of some aspects of it, and I did criticize the outfit that was shown. So I stayed on it for more than a minute, right? And it turns out that gave me a fucking content warning. And so I'm not looking to fuck around with that. So since when I'm modding, I might come across some really ridiculous shit. And I appealed it, and the appeal failed, by the way, as well. Even though I did try to tell them, like, look, guys, basically, I'm just showcasing my mod installation, right? My setup. So I stumbled across this image. I found it silly. I lingered a bit there, criticized it, moved on. Well, nope, appeal failed. And I was like, okay, well, then I will not risk it. I'm not going to risk some, you know, some really horny dudes fucking mod getting me another warning. So no more modding streams. There you go. No more modding streams. Can't do it. Can't risk it. I'm sorry. I am unfiltered. I am this. I am that. But I'm also smart, and I don't want my channel to get banned or something. Especially, when it's something as silly as like, oh, look, somebody made a fucked up avatar, and the clothing also sucks. And then, okay, now you have a warning. I'm like, okay, I'll not fucking fuck with that. Fuck it, okay. I got you, okay. And so because I will be on Nexus when I'm modding, and I can never control what will show up, what will pop up in the pictures, I'm never doing it again. I'm never gonna stream modding again. So that's out of the window. Long story short, Guild Wars on Monday, and then Hollow Knight on Tuesday, and then yeah, Saturday.